Hello, I am Morgan Fuller, and I will be interviewing Melissa from Stoble Coffee today. I'm just going to wait a couple minutes for her to log on, get her all connected. But in the meantime, I wanted to remind you that this Friday at 9 a.m., we will be having our second virtual shaker session. Our speaker will be the amazing Laura Kutsona of the Jesus Center. So it'll be great hearing from her. I'm super excited. I'm excited that you guys are logging on. Hi, Carrie. Hi, Shannon. Hi, Sarah. Thank you so much for being here. I'm really excited to hear from Melissa, and I'm excited to hear more about what Stoble is doing during this time. So if you are a fan of Stoble, and I'll remind you about this again, but if you have a question for Melissa or a question about Stoble or business, make sure to just leave it in the comment section, and I will be sure to ask her all of your questions. How many of you will be there this Friday? Or were you there for the last shaker session? And what did you think about the virtual gathering? I thought it was fun. It's such a great way to meet together when we can't be in person. Hopefully we'll be able to be in person fairly soon. But in the meantime, it's great to be able to connect virtually like this. Yay, I'm glad you'll be there, Nicole. That's awesome. So Melissa, I think you need to request to join and I'll just add you. So I can add her on there and then we'll get going. Awesome. So I think it's connecting right now. I'm glad I did the practice with Nicole the other day. Hey,
Hey.
how are you?
Oh, fine and dandy. How about you?
Good. I'm glad this worked. I did a practice interview Instagram, but this is only my second one doing the interview format.
Oh, nice. We were. Well, it's like our Brady Bunch squares are good.
Exactly. Yeah, I love it. I love it. So tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and about your business.
Okay, sure. So my name's Melissa. I'm part of the Stoble coffee team. You probably creeped on our Instagram at some point, or maybe you've had coffee dropped off on your front porch. I've only lived in Chico for a few months myself. I came
Okay.
up here to join my brother and his wife and their friends starting Stoble Coffee in the co-working space in downtown Chico.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing their social media remotely because none of them
Oh,
were
wow.
really on social media at all before this
Okay.
business. And then, yeah, I've been here probably about 3 weeks before shelter in place started. I moved to Chico.
Wow. Okay, so you were already planning to move here and then
Yeah.
everything happened. Okay. Oh, neat.
So yeah, so we went from kind of big picture, like we have this build going downtown. We got to get like a co-working community developed, dial in coffee roasting to, you know, what is happening in the world. We have a ton of coffee beans. What should we do now?
Yeah. Wow. Wow. So I just want to remind people really quick, if you have any questions for Melissa, be sure to put them in the comment section and I will ask her. And so Melissa, before we talk more about what exactly everything has looked like with COVID, what is your position in the company? So you do social media. Is that your main
To a certain extent, I
function?
came down here to kind of be the den mother of the co-working space once the building
Oh,
happens.
okay.
We're going to have room for
Uh-huh.
maybe like 160 seats. Some of that's private offices, hot desks,
Oh,
whatever.
wow.
I
Hmm.
left, I've been a nurse for the last 10 years.
Oh,
And I kind
wow.
of had that sort of like oversight managerial, like people role in the nursing community there. So
Hmm.
uh, now I would be doing that in this setting. So I just kind of pivoted to social media, creating menus, trying to like going to maybe the higher level stuff to like, okay, now we just need to like throw stuff on the internet constantly and find an easy
Yes.
way to get people who maybe kind of sort of knew that we had a coffee cart to like, oh,
Yeah.
this is something you can like enter into. So my role turned into crisis management, but like in a fun way.
Oh, okay. Well, good.
And now
Good.
I
I
guess I'm
know.
like the comms officer if we want to use some Star Trek terminology.
I love it. Yeah, I've seen some Star Trek on the Stoble Instagram
Yeah, we
page.
got a
So is
lot of that
that from
going on.
you? I love it. So how has your business been impacted with COVID? So you came 3 weeks before
Mhm.
shelter in place happened. So what does that look like for you guys?
Well, it started off kind of like a fun idea. I think the day before like San Francisco went to shelter in place, we were like, maybe we should like deliver coffee to people's houses. We've been doing the coffee cart 5 days a week at different locations, like by the
Oh,
Chico
okay.
campus at Build. So we already kind of had that aspect like dialed in. We knew we could like provide drinks, but
Hmm.
like if nobody's living in their house, like where's the draw? So
Yeah.
we thought, well, I think the Thursday and Friday of like mid March, we're like, well, we'll just try it for 2 days. Like maybe if things are crazy, we could do like 12 or 15 orders in a morning. Like that would be
Hmm.
insane. And
Hmm.
now we're at like 60 some mornings.
Wow. Yeah, I remember when you guys first started and you said we're going to cap it at 15. So at
Yeah.
60, that's
And we thought like,
amazing.
okay, maybe once a week people will give a crap enough to
Hmm.
like figure it out. And then we never stopped. It was like, okay, now we're doing it 5 days a week. We've
Yes.
added a Kamina bakery. I don't remember if we reached out to them or they us, because I don't know if any of us are forming memories over these last weeks. It's like, this is
Totally.
fine, go, go. So yeah, so it's worked out really well. We've just kind of had to learn by doing as far as like how much information can you put out there that people can like take in and will like ask questions in your DMs reflective of the content you've given them. We get
Yeah.
everything from people messaging us at like 11 at night saying, hey, can you bring an Americano out to this basketball court right now? To,
That's
just like
great.
very silly requests or like they think we're someone else. So, but for the most part, it's been really, really cool because I've gotten to know a ton of people having just
Hmm.
moved here through first their coffee orders, but then pretty soon, like we're all following each other on social media. So
Yes.
the comments now or the DMs we get now usually are people reaching out with like a funny GIF first or like a
Hmm.
bunch of nonsense with their order tucked in there somewhere. So
I
it's
love
kind
that.
of starting to feel more of like a coffee shop, sort of, to the extent you can really do that over DMs.
Yeah. So Carrie from Blooming with Kara is asking, are you guys going to continue the coffee delivery after shelter in place?
I think to a certain extent, it's not going to be so binary, like everything gets lifted at once. So I think basically, as long as there's enough interest for us to warrant doing it, we'll
Hmm.
keep doing it. On the other hand, we do have a coffee shop and a co-working space to open up, along with all of the new things to figure out of like, well, how do we navigate that in this new world? Everyone's
Yes.
been working remotely anyway for the last couple months, so maybe this is the perfect solution. If their office spaces are not fun, but they can't really
Hmm.
manage being at home, maybe we're like a good middle ground. So who knows? Basically, once the pressure comes on us to spend more of our day thinking and planning for that stuff, we'll probably dial down the deliveries.
Hmm.
But so far, it seems to, we love doing it. People seem to love getting
Yeah,
them.
I'm with Carrie. I want you to continue it. I love it. It's the highlight to our
Yeah.
week.
Plus, if we can
So
offer people the ability not to have to go out into the community if they're worried, like we would love to do that.
mhm. Yeah, I love that. So just to skip ahead a little bit, what do you think for business or for you or you guys personally, what will things look like in the future?
Well, I think, hopefully we'll have at least a soft opening late summer if,
Hmm.
construction crews can get things done. My best guess is that it'll look like, maybe only half capacity in the cafe,
Okay.
maybe half capacity in the co-working space. But again, our building's freaking huge. The coffee shop itself is 2 stories with a mezzanine and a rooftop deck and basement seating.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's not like we're maybe have the limits like sadly that a lot of coffee shops do where it's like cool we can have an outside table and maybe 2 inside booths.
Hmm.
We can have a huge amount of people in the building still being able to keep everybody pretty separate.
Yeah, that's
um
so nice. I can't wait to see that.
yeah, and I think
I've seen
especially
some
too
of the
having like
pictures. It
the
looks like it's
open
gonna be
rooftop
beautiful.
deck, it's like I don't know, people that
Yeah.
don't want to be in the building with other people. I think even just like mentally will be nice. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward to being able to just worried, like we would love to do that.
Hmm. Yeah, I love that. So, just to skip ahead a little bit, what do you think for business or for you or you guys personally, what will things look like in the future?
Well, I think, hopefully we'll have at least a soft opening late summer if,
Mm-hmm.
construction crews can get things done. My best guess is that it'll look like, maybe only half capacity in the cafe,
Okay.
maybe half capacity in the co-working space. But again, our building's freaking huge. The coffee shop itself is 2 stories with a mezzanine and a rooftop deck and basement seating.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
it's not like we're maybe have the limits, like sadly, that a lot of coffee shops do, where it's like, cool, we can have an outside table and maybe 2 inside booths.
Mm-hmm.
We can have a huge amount of people in the building still being able to keep everybody pretty separate.
Yeah, that's
Um,
so nice. I can't wait to see that.
yeah, and I think
I've seen
especially
some
too
of the
having like
pictures. It
the
looks like it's
open
gonna be
rooftop
beautiful.
deck, it's like, I don't know, people that
Yeah.
don't want to be in the building with other people, I think even just like mentally will be nice. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward to being able to just offer that of like, this is the closest you could get to being around bigger groups without being with a ton of people. Still
Yeah.
safe, but safe from a distance.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
it's right downtown. So for people that are maybe wanting to support like downtown shops, it's like, cool, just one trip, do all your
Hmm.
things.
Yeah, that's perfect. So you mentioned pivoting in your business, and that's a big thing that we've been talking about on Makers and Shakers of like what that looks like. What advice would you give to other small business owners on how to run a business in this time or pivoting?
Mm-hmm. Well, I would say, obviously, I can give you some good logistics, but the important are like determine what is most important to you and what is going to keep like your soul alive and your team happy. So for
Hmm.
us, it was like we want to be able to serve the community. That was like the hub. And then the next was like we want to be able to retain the guys we've already hired to do our roasting. So then it
Yeah.
was easy to make the choice to do coffee deliveries because that would provide a sustainable like income for our company. Because we could have just been like, let's just wait, but it was
Yeah.
like, no, we really want to continue to provide hours. So for
Yeah.
us, like deciding that early on made it easy when it was maybe a stressful day or we were getting like bizarre requests or somebody spilled a drink on the way out the house and suddenly you think like you're fine and you're in a good place and then you're questioning like your family's ability to like communicate and like your whole life's been a lie, but then like an hour later you're fine. I'm sure we're all going through that. So I
Yes,
think it's like
absolutely.
primarily like figure out why you're doing what you're doing. If you haven't already, like definitely do that. And that'll give you the
Yes.
steam to handle the nonsense that's gonna like happen throughout the day. And then on the
Hmm.
other side, like logistically, figure out what works well for you. For us, having as low a barrier as possible for people to make orders. Like, sure, we could have optimized the ordering system and had like an online form, but we were like, nobody really knows who we are yet. We'd rather just like
Mm.
individually engage with customers, and we have the emotional
Wow.
bandwidth to do it.
Uh-huh.
I'm fortunate enough that I live with my brother and his wife, so
Okay.
it's like 3 adults versus 2 kids. There's always somebody
Uh-huh.
who can immediately respond. So yeah, so for us, it was like a low barrier as possible to like entry, and then modifying your offerings. So we needed to get a $15 minimum to make it worth our while for how long deliveries take. But nobody
Hmm.
needs 5 coffees if it's just a single person.
Hmm.
So it was like, okay, well, we'll
Hmm.
make sample bags of our coffees or we'll
Yeah, I
offer
like that.
pastries. So it's like we want everyone to be able to, eat and drink. But if I was living by myself, I would not order like, well, I might order 5 iced coffees, but maybe not
Yeah,
regularly.
my kids are loving the minimum because they get stuff, and then I
Mm-hmm.
get 2 coffees for myself.
Yeah. So
So I probably would order 5 for myself.
right. Yeah. There's special ones of us. So yeah, so finding ways like maybe it's not your vision for your business to offer all these things piecemeal, but for this weird time, maybe get creative, maybe like pair up with somebody else so you guys can kind of
Hmm.
cross support. If you're already having to put like a certain amount of hours of energy in, but you're not getting like enough results back, figure like what stuff that maybe was important to me pre-COVID
Uh-huh.
can take a back seat so that I can like do the parts of my like job that are really important to me,
Yeah, that's
knowing
so
that like
good.
it's not going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
Everything is temporary. Like
Yeah.
try a bunch of weird stuff, and like with the social media stuff, like I mostly do it for fun, and it's kind of become like the Wild West out there. Like nobody cares if it's perfectly curated right now. Everyone's just on their
Yeah.
phones anyway. Like, if you need to make a dumb video or a bunch of stupid posts or like throw 100 filters on yourself so you feel confident, like freaking do it.
Yeah.
Like, none of us are remembering anything we're seeing these days. No one's screenshotting. We're all just looking for memes to make ourselves feel good. So like,
Yeah.
just put out as much as you can. Try a bunch of things. Everybody's being really generous right now with like branding or content. So like, go crazy. And then like later on, we'll pretend a lot of this stuff didn't happen.
I love that. And you guys have done so well with that. It's neat to see where, from my perspective, you guys have been able to take your business to a whole nother level in a time where a lot of people are concerned about doing nothing or doing anything. So that's great advice. So to go back to the workspace, the question is, can you go into detail about the workspaces, renting, hourly, monthly? So a little bit of like logistical stuff on what that space, the co-working space. Yeah.
So some of it's still fluctuant because we're trying to gauge how much interest there is. Like how many maybe private offices should we cannibalize for common space, things like that. So if you want to get a crap load of information, you can go to stobleworkplace.com, throw your email on there, and that will be just like more information than you could want will be dumped your way. But basically how it will work is the building downtown is, like I said, it's kind of like 4-ish stories. The first third is a shop. The second third is co-working. I think there's about 19 offices for rent.
Wow.
A ton of shared common areas, a ton of shared amenities. You can get like your own like PO box. There's like secure internet, a whole bunch of stuff that I don't know the terminology for, but that you would have and expect like in a normal, like kind of Bay Area, Silicon Valley type office.
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting like top of the line, everything, little like booths that you can kind of close in and have a private spot. Conference rooms, every electronic gadget for like PowerPoints and like electronic whiteboards. Every cool thing you've ever seen in an office, we're going to have in there.
Wow.
So
that's going to be an amazing addition. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. Every time I see like another blueprint, I'm like, this is nuts. We walked through the build the other day and it's starting to take shape. You know, drywall's not up yet, but it feels like, for whatever I know about construction, that's maybe like the next step. There's some metal around. I don't know. Anyways, so you could rent a private office for yourself, for a bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of different sizes. The building's old, so it's not super uniform. It's like smaller, medium-ish, gigantic.
Wow.
But because you don't have to have like a Xerox machine, a fridge, a break room in your space, you're really renting maybe a smaller space than if you were renting like an office in a separate building, because so much of that stuff's been like offloaded from you. So you're really just renting like the private space that's like just for you.
Yes.
And then everything else is like big open shared spaces. And then you can get like a full-time membership where you have access to all of the community space, like desks and office supplies and amenities. And then you basically get credits. So you get like a certain amount of drinks per week. You can rent a certain amount of like conference rooms per like hour, basically for however long your membership is. So you have that. We're going to do a community membership, which means you get like one day in the whole co-working space, but like access to discounted amenities. Otherwise, if you're someone who enjoys just the coffee shop aspect of it and you're happy just sitting with a laptop in the cafe, but you're like, maybe there's just like one day a month where I'm just going to like bust a project out. I'd like to maybe check out and see if this is something I'd want long-term. So we have a lot of ways to kind of sit in one pool and dip your toes into the next, as opposed to like full on committing to something that, one, doesn't exist yet, and two, we can show you a bunch of pretty renderings of. But sorry,
it does look amazing.
Anywho,
that sounds amazing. Yeah, Lauren from Billy Sky is saying so interested in this. Carrie, this is so exciting. Chico needs this. I 100% agree. Hearing you talk about it, I've seen the pictures. I'm like, okay, sign me up. Where do I get more information?
And even just like, I don't know, I've been out of college like 15 years, but I just remember like, you know, when you're in like all the common areas, or maybe in like high school, or if you went to like a mega church, or you've been in like some big group of people that's like, you're all sort of casually involved with each other. Maybe you worked on projects. It's like, when I think about later this year and it happening and like getting that feeling of like, not community because we necessarily have anything in common, but just because we're choosing to like be in the same like vicinity, and all those little like friendships or weird pockets of Chico that are like either gonna connect or gonna be able to have something like somewhere else to hang out. We don't want it to be like, here's us and our cool ideas and like subscribe to the like our cool aesthetic and take pictures in front of this thing with your coffee. Like, you could do that. But honestly, like none of us are that cool, and we'd be like intimidated by that.
I don't believe that.
Well, TBD. But it's like we want people who have like their own ideas and their own stuff. We just want to be a spot that can like breathe life into it. So, anywho.
I love that. So I feel like this is only like a scratch of the surface. This is such good stuff though. But as we wind it down, just let me know. So I want to hear like where people can reach you, what you're offering right now, and then yeah, kind of like what your hours, just stuff like that.
Sure.
Details on where
So
they can find you and what they can get.
Yeah. So Instagram, if you're looking for coffee orders, either like delivered to your porch Monday through Friday, or if you just want to order coffee beans, mail them anywhere in the country, you can do that. Our website will just keep you up to date with whatever the menu is that week. If you're wanting information on the workspace, that's also an Instagram account, Stoble workplace. Could change it so many times. I should have.
If you just start typing in Stoble, both accounts come up.
Yeah. So those are going to be your two best options. And then if you just go to our website, you can pop your email address in. And as we have the energy to like whittle things down into newsletters, that'll start happening pretty soon.
Perfect.
But yeah, I think we've kind of come out of the first like coffee insanity, like 6 weeks. And now we're able to sort of like, okay, reset.
Yes. So coffee delivery, that's just on the Stoble account. People just DM you and order there.
Just DM us. They can email us, they can message on Facebook, but honestly, Instagram for us is the easiest way to receive orders. So yeah, just send us a DM. Some people are having trouble with their DMs going through. I've read a ton of stuff on Instagram, and it seems like if a whole bunch go at once, not necessarily all of them make it all the way.
Oh, wow, okay.
We're not ignoring you. Like I said, there's 5 of us logged into this Instagram at all times. So just comment on a post if we're ghosting or something.
Okay. So Nicole's asking me, since she's like the head of our makers and shakers, even though this is going a little long, it's worth it, I guess. Just real quick. So any advice for pivoting? So if somebody wants to pivot, what would
as much as possible to anyone you're on a team with about like what is the new plan, and like make sure everybody stays like aligned, because I think some people are going to have good ideas like in you and your group are looking at them like, why aren't they just doing this? It'd be so much easier. Or maybe you're so stressed out you can't see that idea. So I would just say write all of your weird, crazy ideas down. Talk to other small businesses. Even if they're not like selling the same product as you or offering the same service, they might have a tool that like super easily lends itself to yours. I even made like fake customer names so I could send people our spreadsheets to give them examples of like how we organize, how we route. I would say if you have social media, like ask people like, here's the stuff I offer. What do you want from me?
Yeah, that's
sometimes
good.
You're holding on to treasures that you maybe no longer value because maybe skills you learned early on in your career, just like basics that other people would like love to like watch a class on or learn about, but they're like second nature to you now.
I love that. That's great. So before we end too, I just have to take the opportunity to say how much I love the pistachio rose latte.
Ooh, yes.
I'm obsessed. What's your favorite thing that you guys offer?
It's a great question. I would probably say I really like the vanilla chai.
Okay.
And I just do like as steamy as milk as possible. And then if you have not had my 2 favorite like non-Stoble offerings, if you try like just the regular croissants from Comida Bakery, holy crap, they're so good. It's like a whole meal. I don't even care if you put butter on it, man. They're freaking delicious. And then DeLuca just started offering like raw natural honey from like beehives she just has.
Wow.
And my sister-in-law took a spoonful of it, and I swear to God, she went on Amazon and bought a big red t-shirt just so she could like, Winnie the Pooh because she loved it.
I love it. So that's great. So you guys are partnering up with Kamina and DeLuca, and they can find you on Instagram, order there, or on your website for beans. And a bunch of people that have been on here are excited for the workspace. So yeah, thank you so much for your time, Melissa.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Really appreciate that. Yeah, of course. So have a great rest of your day.
All right.
And we will all be following you on Instagram.
All right. Sounds good. See you guys later.
Okay. Bye. Bye.